So I want to make this channel more about documenting my life in a cinematic/film-like style, but I'm making this video for anybody that's lost between these two universities, because I was completely lost on which one to choose when I saw both of these acceptance letters. I got accepted by UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara. Holy shit, I got accepted. And I wish I had this video to simplify everything for me. Or this is honestly for whichever people that are stuck between two universities. Trust me, this video is going to help. And again, I'm creating this video because I wish I had this video before I figured out which university I'd commit to. Because trust me, I'm going to go over everything you need when considering which university to go to. So if you're looking for a comprehensive top-down video, this one's for you. So the objective of this video is just to help anybody out that's having the same problem as me, because I wish I had the help. Okay, so I've been battling between the two ever since I got accepted to both of them, which is crazy to me, but anyways, it's not the point. Some of the things that I considered and what you should consider at the least is academics, location, culture, costs, and living. If there's any that I didn't go over that apply to you, please don't neglect them. But for now, let's go through the list, because I want to give as much information as I can in order for you to make the right decision on what the best university is for you. Let's start off with number 1, academics. And again, I'm going to compare UCLA and UC San Diego. But again, you can compare any universities you want to, and all of this will still apply. So both are highly respected universities. And this was personally easily my biggest and most influential factor when deciding what university to go to. Research your major and learn a bit more about each research facility in each of the universities. I'm a psychology major, so I did most of my research in the psychology department. But since psychology is so broad and can intertwine with so many other majors, I also decided to look at a few other faculty members from other majors. From my understanding, from my major, psychology, both of them are very good, but UCLA has a better edge compared to UC San Diego, especially with the specific subfields of psychology that I'm interested in. So you also have to consider that it depends on your specialization for your major, if you have a specialization in your major. For example, I know UC San Diego is the best in the world at neuroscience for psychology, but I'm personally not interested in neuroscience for psychology, so therefore it's not a fit for me. It doesn't mean that their other subfields are bad, it just means that for my example, UCLA ranks better on the subfields I'm interested in compared to UC San Diego. Also, don't just take a bunch of websites' words for it, like this one for example. Research it yourself. Most of the websites are very general. It doesn't give you the answer you're looking for. Look at the classes offered. It's very important to look at the professors. What are they researching? Does it interest you? Do you want to learn more about these professors? I'm personally, as of right now, going to try and go for a PhD, so it's very important to me to know this, because I have the potential to work hands-on with these leading professionals at their profession. And even if you're not going for a PhD or any type of research-oriented job, you can still get hands-on experience with the leading professionals in the industry that you're trying to break through in. So use that to your advantage. Like I said, I'm hoping for a PhD, so we're all pursuing different things, and maybe you're not hoping for what I'm hoping when it comes to the research aspect. But that doesn't deny that each professor can give you different opportunities that you might be able to lean into. So overall, research the facilities and understand them thoroughly through their websites. Are any of them extremely interesting to you? For me, UCLA wins because it has one of the best psychology programs and some of the best faculty in the world, specifically for my specialization in psychology as well. You're going to be spending years at these universities, at the minimum 2, because I'm a transfer student. So do your research, because trust me, it's going to benefit you in the long run. Number 2, location. This one has to go to UC San Diego for me. The weather is always beautiful, and you don't get it too much here at LA. There's definitely much more pollution, at least it feels like it for me. But you are close to Santa Monica and LA if that piques your interest. For UCSD, you're close to beaches like La Jolla and downtown San Diego, which is packed with a bunch of fun things to do, especially if you're 21 or 18 with a fake ID, I don't know. You have a lot to do at each place, but for lack of better words, it's just the vibe that you're going for. Just the vibe of going out with your friends, going out in the city, maybe the beach, or just to relax and have that college experience that you hope to have with your friends. I personally like the San Diego beaches more, and LA of course has Santa Monica, so there's no doubt that you're gonna get beaches here too, but you do always get that smell of weed in Santa Monica that you don't really in San Diego.
Is the weed on the show real?
No.
At least not from what I've smelled. I guess. But hey, if you like weed, then I mean, by all means. Just research the differences and maybe stay at those places for a few days and maybe you'll see what you prefer. But in general, look up what there is to do around the campus. Not only that, but research what's on campus too. Since I'm going for a PhD, at least for now, I personally am not really worried about the location outside of the campus, because most of my time is going to be on campus rather than off campus, without a doubt in my head. I mean, I only have 2 years on this campus, so trust me when I say I'm going to try and make every second count. So I'm going to literally try to drown myself in the campus within these 2 years. So personally, the location wasn't a huge one for me, but you know, for all I know, I might be going out more than I expect to. But as far as I'm aware, I'm going to try and be focused mainly on the campus, because there's so many clubs, so many programs, so many opportunities that I don't want to miss out on. But I'm going to be on campus most of the time, so make sure you love the campus as well, because it's going to be called home for some time now, at least for 2 years for me. And if you're a freshman, you better love that campus. Number 3, culture. Even if you don't go for the culture, I guess you could say, you're no doubt going to get influenced by it. So from all my research and from UCSD being called UC Socially Dead, it apparently lives up to the name. But if you're a UCLA alumni, then there's a crazy amount of school spirit. Even if you're not a UCLA alumni, you always see UCLA sweaters, at least in LA. You will talk to other students if you go to the games, the events, and so much more. That's not saying that UCSD doesn't have these events or games, as they clearly do. They're just not as intense or immersive as UCLA is, at least from my understanding. So if you want the college experience more, then that's another point for UCLA, especially if you're living on campus, because on campus, that's when it's a huge factor to consider the culture. I don't plan to live on campus, so that's something I'm factoring in as well for me, but then again, I'm not sure because UCLA has a program where they let me house with other transfer students as well, so definitely not sure on that yet. I'll definitely create an update video on that, but in general, what's the culture like on each campus? Do students interact? Also, how many events are there? Are there any events to advance your academics or your career, like career fairs? Are there events to simply relax and enjoy, like food fairs? These events and clubs are going to drastically help whether you believe it or not. The connections you create here can either land you a future job or have you create lifelong friends. It's the things that you don't consider that are what's seriously going to make the difference. Number 4. Living situation. Are you living on campus or off campus? With roommates, alone, commuting? The living is a huge factor in deciding where to go. Like I said, I'm thinking about living off campus, but I'm considering the dorm life. And to be honest, if you're doing the dorm life, even I would say UCLA. Like I said, the culture plays a huge aspect. But at the end of the day, it really is up to you and what you envision your college experience to be. Also, bear in mind the college experience is never going to be how you envision it, but you can always try to do what you can to make it the experience you'd hope for. Now, also bear in mind the college experience is also what you make it. For UC San Diego, just because it's called UC Socially Dead doesn't mean that you have to be socially dead. If you try to branch out, if you try to join clubs, you try to join programs, chances are you're gonna have an amazing college experience. So let's not forget that it's what you make of it. You're not destined to have a bad experience. The results come from the actions and decisions that you make in order to try and have the best experience that you'd hope to have. Number 5, cost. This one ties to everything, so again, it's very dependent. But since they are a part of the same system, University of California, then they are slightly similar. So at this point, if they're similar, then it's the other factors that you have to consider more than this one. But obviously, if there is a clear difference between which one offers you more or less financial aid, then it's also a factor of whether the financial burden is worth it or not, or if it'll be too much to take, which causes you to go to the other university. But in general, is the cost too much that you have to go somewhere else? Or can you spend the money to go to that university? What I will say is don't let money deter you from that university. Don't forget that some of these connections and resources that you can make can and will pay dividends in the future for you and can be priceless once you realize their value if utilized correctly. So those are all the points that I have, and of course there were other little detailed factors that I considered, but these were some of the main most influential factors that I considered when deciding what university I wanted to attend. And if there's anything else that you consider that maybe I left out by accident, please write it in the comment section or please consider it yourself and let me know what your final decision would have been. With all that said, I have a disclaimer that the best university is the one that best suits you. And I mean your academic pursuit, opportunities presented to you, and overall just simply your vibe as a student. There's also one last bit that I did not talk about, but I want to say it is extremely important when deciding. At least for me personally, it played a huge impact on me, more than I thought. Stepping foot on each campus. Seriously, please do not downplay this little but drastic action. With all that in mind, I chose UCLA over UC San Diego. Oh, it's fucking crazy I even got accepted, but anyway. I chose it for these reasons. The academics. Like I said, UCLA is top ranked across the board consistently for psychology. And when I say across the board, I mean throughout every psychology specialty, they're top ranked. And it's going to be extremely useful for me in my future pursuit, at least as a hopeful PhD student. I would also like to say that even though the other factors are very important, this was the most influential and most important one to me because again, I'm going for a PhD and it's very important that I get with these leading professionals so that I can hopefully get opportunities from each and every one of them. And I mean, that's not even factoring in that it's one of the best universities in the world, quite literally the #1 public university in the world. And I'm going here for my education. And I plan to go far in my education. So the opportunities here will not only pay dividends, not only from my academics, but in my connections, because like I said, I'm connecting with leading professionals in their profession, as well as interacting with hopefully future professionals, my classmates, and the career that they plan to further themselves in as well. Now the culture. UCSD is called UC Socially Dead for a reason. As far as I've heard, it's for students who are mainly there for an education. I understand that the main goal is academics, but you can get the same, if not better academics without sacrificing the rest. I'm not saying that UCSD is socially dead. Like I said, the experience is what you make out of it. But if it gets the name, then it's bound to have some form of truth, is it not? Plus, recently I've been getting bombarded with UCLA emails, but they're not spam. They're really good emails giving me opportunities such as the programs or the clubs that they have offered at UCLA. I've only seen one event offered offered at UC San Diego. And that's honestly getting more important the more I have my future profession in mind when considering these two universities. Now the location. I would actually say UC San Diego wins over UCLA in the location for me, but that's also because I'm biased and I've lived in LA for my whole life. Near LA, maybe not exactly LA, about 40 minutes away. But I do enjoy the atmosphere a lot more at San Diego, so I tip my hat to that one. But also, like I said, I plan to completely drown myself on the campus. So chances are I'm not even going to leave the campus for most of my days. So realistically, what matters more is what the campus has to offer me more than what outside of the campus has to offer me. Because like I said, as a PhD student, I don't know if it's stupid or not, but I hope to completely drown myself in the events, in the clubs, in the organizations, in the programs, so that I can hopefully get an opportunity such as an internship or work in the research department with these professors to hopefully get me either a job or at least hands-on experience that I know will benefit me in my future at graduate school. Now the living situation. If I go to UCSD, I'll be able to live with a family friend and not have to pay much while getting my own room and my own bathroom, as well as a kitchen. While at UCLA, chances are I'm gonna have to get an apartment and pay a large sum of money or live with others in an apartment where I'm sharing a room, or at least I'm sharing the apartment. And that's implying I don't get a dorm, which by the way is gonna be a lot less privacy, but I guess I get that college experience if that matters when it comes to dorm life. So I guess I give a point to San Diego because it's slightly less costly, especially when it comes to rent, unless I find a good apartment that actually gives me low rent while being able to simultaneously either rent it out with someone else without sharing a room or just keep it for myself while having low rent, but that's not very likely. And what that finally ties into, cost. UC San Diego may be the cheapest option for me, but let's not forget, like I said, the things offered at UCLA for me personally, while being a bit more costly, will benefit me and hopefully pay me back for the rest of my life, if I utilize the resources correctly, that is. I'm not saying that the students or the opportunities at UCSD are minimal. I bet they have a range of opportunities that I haven't even touched upon. But UCLA has much more than what I pictured originally, with a range of leading professions and top programs that I believe will benefit me for the rest of my life. Sure, a lot of the UCLA ones may be stupid and only for recreational purposes.
We're at the lettuce eating club.
The premise of the club is
You see who can eat the head of lettuce the fastest.
if you eat it the fastest out of everyone, you become head lettuce.
But that still benefits you as a student in order to not only get a college experience, but also to kind of take a break, because college is stressful and these clubs will only benefit you if all you need is a simple break where you can hopefully make friends and make some connections again.
It was ripping to start. I should have been doing the hamburger all the way through.
And like I said, one of the most important factors is connections to me. Not only will I be able to connect with leading professionals, but with like-minded students as well. These students made it to this university for a reason, just like why chances are you made it to this university for a reason. You may not understand that reason, and just maybe the college system is based off of luck. But at the end of the day, you're here, so use these resources to your advantage. Now, just to make it clear, this one doesn't just go for UCLA. There's obviously intelligent individuals at UC San Diego. It is also one of the top universities in the world. There's no doubt about that. But again, the culture at UCLA have more events, and overall more means of connecting that'll only benefit you in the future. That's as long as you take advantage of the opportunity, that is. Because that is what I believe that is one of the unspoken things that are the most beneficial for you attending a top-ranked university. And the last influential factor that I didn't realize made the biggest difference for me was stepping foot on each campus. When I stepped foot on UCLA, I was literally blown away. I then went to San Diego a few days later, and for me personally, the feeling I had at UCSD could never compete to the feeling that I got at UCLA. And I didn't stop talking about the campus until 3-4 days after. Now this may be the opposite for you, where you love UCSD and not UCLA. Like I said, you are the one that needs to step on each campus in order for you to decide the best decision for you. For some people, this is actually the complete deciding factor on which university they're going to attend. Do yourself a favor and step foot on each campus. It may just be your deciding factor as well. So this is my comprehensive take on it. I hope this helped you figure out where you want to go, or maybe you're juggling between two different campuses. In that case, these same rules still apply and can hopefully help you make the best decision for yourself as well. Again, the best university is the one that fits you. So do your homework to see which will benefit you in terms of everything I previously mentioned. Now with that said, looks like I'm going to UCLA, so that's awesome. Go Bruins, I guess? Go Ositos, mejor. Cringe. Man, that's fucking crazy. Hell about to create a video about my imposter syndrome. Anyways, I hope this helped, and like I said, I hope to create more cinematic film style type of videos and not necessarily like this. I just created this video to hopefully help someone. I wish I had this video in order to help me understand how to make my decision. And congratulations to whoever you got accepted to. No matter where you go, it's going to be a good university and you're making the right decision. Fuck, I made it to UCLA. That's crazy, dude. Cute.